Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's Joel Bayer, and I'm here on a special episode. Actually, we've got here our guy, former Liverpool player, former Spurs player, Mr. Danny Murphy. How you doing? You good?
I'm all good. I'm all good. Better for hearing the news, mate. Better for hearing the news, the Liverpool
Listen,
news.
Danny, it's funny because Rio's actually supposed to be online with us at the moment, but I know he's got some sort of an emergency going on. So forgive us, guys. That's the original plan, but we didn't want to go online without giving you guys some sort of news, or Danny's kindly given us his time. So we thought, let's just do a quick 5-10 minute chat. Did you watch the United game, Danny?
I did. I thought they were decent. I mean, the opposition wasn't great, but you know what the best thing is for United? It's difficult for me to say they look so much more improved. But Rashford, I'm so pleased for him. The people who were doubting him, the people who were questioning him, he looks sharp, he looks hungry, he looks fit, he looks everything he was before the criticism started, before the dip in form.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pleased for him. And I have to say, the emergence of Casemiro in this United side, I mean, we've watched Liverpool and City, haven't we, now dominate for a few years, and they both had a holding midfield player that knows their job. Fabinho for Liverpool, Rodri for Man City, and now United have got their own in Casemiro. They've been crying out for someone like him, and he makes the game look so easy. He knits the game up. His passing's good. He dictated the game tonight. He controlled the game from minute one to the end. He's really starting to look like such an important player for Man United. And if they keep him fit, they've got a chance at that top four.
100% right. And I think it's fair to say as well that, not just to single out Ronaldo, but I feel like Erik ten Hag now is going to be in control of this side. Like, he is in full control. I was saying to you off air, like, now it seems like he can actually move forward and lay the instructions, kind of like Arteta when Aubameyang left. He can really have his imprint and not worry about, even if it's one bad egg can stink up the place. Do you see what I mean? And you can just tell United started strong. I saw a stat that said that United haven't made more attempts of passing in the game, more than in this game, not against Steve Cooper's team. And they started off really, really brightly. What more can we say? Casemiro leading the line for them. As when I say leading the line, I mean, in the midfield there, just an absolute warrior, deserved man of the match. He's definitely turned things around for them, right?
He has. He's been sensational, but it's a good point you make on Ronaldo. I think the biggest thing is when a player like that who brings so much attention and spotlight, and sometimes a negative way, what it does is it frees the other players up. It gives them kind of it's a relief that the headlines, the cameras aren't all on Ronaldo, and they can just play a bit more free. It's not that they didn't like him or didn't get on with him. There's no conspiracy theories. It's just when a player has got such presence that Ronaldo's got, and deservedly so with what he's done in the game, when they leave, it frees up this kind of space for someone else to come in and kind of show, now I can be the man. Now I feel free to do what I want to do. And maybe we'll have to see if Martial carries on taking his chance. I think they'll go out in the window and try and get a striker. But the team looks like it's hungry. It looks like it's playing for the manager. They look fitter than they have in a long, long time. And discipline is everything. You know this. I mean, in a good side, you'll have good players, of course. But discipline which is exactly why Arteta and Arsenal are sitting top of the league. Yes, they've got good players, but every one of them plays the role in the team and does what Arteta asked them to do. The pressing from United's even better. The intensity without the ball's better. Same with Arsenal. So in many respects, although we're all grateful for the fact we got to see Ronaldo, even near the end last year when he scored all the goals, it was still a blessing to see him. It's better for United, and I think they'll be better for it as a team, as a collective.
Yeah. I mean, Marcus Rashford, again, having him back on form is massive for United. I'm sitting there thinking, this is the Marcus Rashford of old. The confidence, the flick-ons, the lay-ins. He's doing absolutely everything possible. And if it wasn't for Casemiro's performance, he would have easily been man of the match.
Well, I think with Rashford, it's people talked about his body language when he wasn't playing well and he looked a little bit flat. He looks like his chest is out. He's wanting the ball. When he's running with the ball, he's dynamic. I remember being at Wembley when I don't know if you remember the game where he played up front and he was very, very young. I think they left Lukaku on the bench and played him against, I think it was Palace in the cup final. I remember seeing him thinking, this lad has got everything you need to be a top player. Now, is he better on the wing? Is he better up the middle? People would debate that. The fact is, when he's happy and hungry, and he's got a system that the team's used to playing, and they use him to his strengths, he's a wonderful player. I mean, just to think, what was it? I mean, end of last season, maybe halfway through last season, there was talk, some fans saying it was time for him to move. There's not a United fan now talking about him leaving, is there?
Nah, not at all. I mean, you could just see, I think a fit, informed Rashford is better than an informed Anthony. I know Anthony's just arrived, but I think he's better than all the forwards that they have there. I really do, you know. Obviously, there's still a lot to be seen of Jadon Sancho, who's been given time to go away, etc. But an informed, you know, Rashford is definitely one of the best forwards in the league, and you just got to give him the props. I mean, second goal as well, Anthony Martial, you know, he was obviously going to be the guy that leads the line away from Ronaldo. Is this going to be the season that he finally steps up and, you know, he fulfills that potential that we saw against Liverpool in his first season?
I remember that one. Do you know what? I don't think you can rely on him. I like him in terms of his ability. We know he can score goals. He's strong. He's got good feet. Sometimes he wants to know. Sometimes he looks a bit despondent in games. I don't think you can rely on him for the rest of the season if you want to really compete. When I say you, I mean United fans listening, and I think United need to go and do some business. You know, they've got to try and get some, not even necessarily someone who's going to play every week ahead of him, but someone who's going to push him, someone who's going to compete with him, at least on his level, because they are short on numbers in attacking areas. And I think if they rely on Martial, I don't just mean his ability in terms of reliability and his goals. I mean his injuries. He seems to struggle with lots of games or continually. You know, the durability of players these days. When you think of, I mean, I don't remember the couple of years, 3 years on the spin, I think it was, where Salah, Mane, and Firmino hardly missed a game, and people were saying Liverpool are too reliant. Well, they were, but they were able to be because they played all the time. And I don't think Martial has not shown that he's capable of doing that.
Yeah, no, I mean, we'll see what happens anyway. But I think right now, even as an Arsenal fan, I hate to admit it, there's something going on at United. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to see them succeed, but I can be honest and say that there's something going on. And I think this season is actually a season for him to really show that, hey, look, you know, I'm still young enough, you know, because he arrived at United at such a young age. You know, I love the club. I've got better attitude. If they carry on playing the way they play today, yes, it was Nottingham Forest, but it looks pretty scary, to be honest with you. And obviously, even Fred coming on now and, you know, playing like a real Brazilian. I don't know if you saw, but before United scored the third goal, right, Nico Williams and Fred went into like a clash. It was like a slide tackle. And honestly, if I was Nico Williams, I would have fell on the floor and rolled over 10 times as if I got shot, because I thought like it was so slippery that I felt that if he did that, the referee would have had to stop play.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So dangerous. I thought, why did you not stay down? Why did you not roll over 10 times? Because through that, he kind of like soldiered it on when I thought you don't really need to do that. You need to like have better game management. And then after that, a couple moves down the line, and then Fred scores. I thought that's why you should stay down in that situation. You would have got the free kick.
The thing is, yeah, it's a good point, but it wouldn't have altered the scoreline. And ultimately, the original point you're talking about is a really good one in the fact that other than the front area of the pitch, United's strength and depth's pretty good. You saw tonight, Wan-Bissaka come in for Dalot. He looks at it, doesn't he? He looks fit. Yeah. He looks like he wants to prove a point.
Yeah.
You've got McTominay and Fred on the bench who are more than capable of coming in certain games and shoring it up and, you know, putting themselves about. You've got Maguire desperate to get back in. You've got Martinez to come back, who's just won the World Cup. You know, United have got, other than the front area of the pitch, they've got decent strength. I just think that if you look at the goal difference in the Premier League now, I mean, not that you'll end up probably getting in the Champions League by on goal difference, but it tells you a lot about where you're at as a club. United's goal difference, I think, was 0 before tonight, or after 1-0, and after this many games in a Premier League season, very, very rarely United's goal difference is 0. It's always in the pluses. Now, the reason it's that is because of the lack of firepower. So when you're comparing United's goal difference to the teams who they're competing with, who've got bundles of goals in them, that's an obvious thing. That I'd be amazed, irrelevant of what problems with the hierarchy, I'd be amazed if they don't go out and do something. Because even if it's some sort of loan, a risk, somebody who you know, somebody who's been out of favour somewhere else, an experienced guy who needs some game, but whatever it may be, they've got to do something in that area.
And no, I think you're 100% right. Now, guys, for you watching, just logging in right now, Rio's had an emergency. That's why it's me and Danny here taking over. I know you're thinking, what's Joel doing? What's Danny doing here? We had a show ready for you guys, but we didn't want to leave you hanging. So I just want to say thank you, Danny, because you've been with us. Before we go, I want to talk about a really important topic, Gakpo. You know, it looks like he was rumored to potentially go to Man United. You know, that's what I was hearing during the course of the World Cup. Fine display for the Netherlands. But next thing you know, randomly out of nowhere, Liverpool have agreed to sign Netherlands forward Gakpo from PSV Eindhoven. I couldn't believe it. And for such a steal, 35.4 million, to rise to 44.3 million pounds. Where did this happen? How did this happen? When did you first hear about it?
Do you know what? You told me the first I heard about it. When I got your message, and then I checked it. I thought he's winding me up because I was like you, Man U. It was just a rumor. Man U, the Ten Hag link. Listen, I think Virgil van Dijk's going to be on. He's going to have to get a little weighed in, for this one. I think Virgil's been in his ear telling him what an amazing club it is. But every Liverpool fan, if they didn't know about him and they haven't seen much of him, should be excited. Now I know we've got Diaz. I know we've got Jota. We've got Salah, but you're talking about the future Liverpool Football Club here. And you know as well as I do now, you want to be competing at the top of the Champions League and winning Premier Leagues, you need five goals. You need five who are competing. Like City have always had loads of options in the attacking areas. That's what we need, especially with the injuries now. But Gakpo, what he is, he's a mixture of all the things you want in a striker, or a winger, I should say. That's his main position. He can play through the middle. He's got 2 good feet. He's lightning quick. He's tall and athletic, strong. He scores a goal. I mean, I was looking at his goal scoring ratio. I mean, I know it's only in Holland, and we've seen this before. Players come over from Holland and struggle, but he's 1 in 2.5 at the age of 23. I think he got 21 last season. He's already got 13 this season. He loves scoring goals. I mean, the group games he got 3 for Holland, as we all know, in the World Cup. He can play either side, although his preference on the left, and the Dutch played him through the middle. And I think very few players come to Liverpool and don't improve under Klopp. The coaching methods, the man-to-man management, very few players I've seen come under the Klopp reign and not improve under his tenure. So I'm really excited by it. Desperately what we need now, especially with the injuries to Jota and Diaz. And I'm really excited to see him. I'm actually just shocked still. I spoke to a friend of mine at Liverpool today who couldn't believe it. A friend of mine, a physio there, and couldn't believe he was coming in. And I think every Liverpool fan is excited. Irrelevant he was supposed to be going to Man U. That just adds a bit of icing on the cake, doesn't it? But I just think it's just a wonderful signing at a time where Liverpool need a little boost. There's been some doubts about whether they're going to kick back or bounce back from that poor start, whether they're going to be able to repeat the form of last season and, go on a run. I think now with him coming in, giving everyone a lift, and more importantly, mate, is the competition for places. It creates better performances. I always talk about that United side that won the treble. That United side that won the treble had 4 amazing strikers, if you remember.
Teddy Sheringham, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Andy Cole, Dwight York. Any of them could have led the line, no problem.
Exactly. So Liverpool to get back in the top 4, 100% for me. 100%. I don't say that being
I don't think it's going to be this season, mate. I'll tell you that, because the way Arsenal and City have occupied, they're definitely going to be in the top 4. Then you've got Newcastle, who are knocking on that door. It's still early to say, but they're really, really making a strong case. Then you've got everyone else. You've got Chelsea, you've got Spurs, you've got Man United, you've got Liverpool. You've even got other teams there creeping in, okay, Fulham are a little bit too low down, but there is a scramble for that 4th place. So I don't think Liverpool are making it this year, if I'm honest with you. You're going to have to go on a serious run, Danny, and I'm sorry.
We'll have a little bet off air, but you know what the difference is? You talk about Newcastle, and they've done brilliantly. I mean, with the job Eddie Howe's done, we can talk about that all day. And of course, Chelsea got their issue. United are having a little go. Liverpool and United similar points or so, or a couple of points away. Liverpool have been there and done it. They've not been at the top of the league for 4 years without learning along the way how to bounce back from difficult periods or bad spells. If you look at the game against Villa, they got the midfield three back for the first time in a while. Henderson, Fabinho and Thiago. Keep them three fit in the middle of the park. With now the attacking players we've got, especially if Gakpo gets over the line, which I'm pretty sure he will, I can't see us not pushing at least for third. Honestly, I really think we're capable of going on a run. And Newcastle have done well, but they're going to have a blip. Trust me.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, for me,
although
that's,
Joel,
yeah.
I did say that about Leicester when they won the league.
Oh yeah. Next thing you know, you had Gary Lineker, clothesless hosting match of the day, last game of the season. We all remember.
I know.
Yeah. But no, I mean, for me, it's really interesting. I think you guys have already got other players on the sidelines for a long, lengthy time. So I think Gakpo will definitely will be really good for you guys in general. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you very much, Danny, for coming on. We're only keeping it short because, like we said, Rio's had an emergency and he can't make it, which is unfortunate. But the good news is you're going to be giving us some great insight on the 5 channel this season, and we really, really appreciate it, especially the experience that you have playing for Liverpool, playing for Fulham, playing for Spurs. We get to hear and see that tactical insight, hopefully pair you up with the likes of James Redmond, Rio, Steve, myself, and we can make some brilliant content. So thank you very much for giving us your time.
Pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure. Look forward to doing more.
No worries, guys. Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be back in the new year. As you can imagine, it's been a crazy World Cup. We're not even in the studio as we speak. We thought, let me give you something, just a little bit. But, we're going to be back stronger than ever. So please make sure you subscribe to the channel and give us the support, man, because we don't want to let you down. That's why we're here. Joel Bayer, Danny Murphy, signing out. Peace.